Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Eternal Evolution. For today's video, we are going to talk how to gear your energy heroes. Alright, and when it comes to gearing your energy heroes, it's actually pretty simple. I was actually a little bit dreading this. I'm like, there's so many. Oh my goodness, it's going to take forever to write my article and do a video on them. There's just so many. But actually, they're pretty much all the same, with one exception. So I'm going to talk first generalities here. We're talking energy heroes, and we do have a quick nod to class technology that I'll go to first. Class technology has made our build so much easier to get the stats we need, and it's just something to keep in mind when building your heroes. Now we're talking energy, so we are going to need attack and crit damage for most of these heroes because, well, let's be honest, this energy class are all damage dealers. Simple enough, right? There's really not any quirkiness to kits that make you gear them differently than a typical damage build. So what are we talking about here? There's one exception to the rule who's probably one of the strongest of all of the energy heroes. So I'm going to talk about that one exception to the rule first. But it's not necessarily an exception to the rule. He can be built just like all of them too, which is something I've heard but not seen before. So I kind of want to discuss that with you and let you guys know that I will be doing a guide on this myself. But what are we talking? Okay, so Luke. Luke is the exception to the rule, right? He is typically built, so mine's extraordinary. Mine is hyper evolved, but Luke is typically built with attack percent gloves, attack percent helmet, and attack percent boots with no crit rate. This should be a hero set, not a resistance set, but gear gets spread thin and things happen. I do have mine at EX30 as well, which does give him even more attack. Look at that, 40% more attack. But what makes Luke built most often as a pure attack percentage hero, which, by the way, your substat you'd be looking for would be probably damage reduction in that case, is because of his ultimate skill here and the talent effect that goes along with it. So with Night Curse, when you have that activated, all damage dealt by Luke's skills are converted to true damage. Luke's skill will no longer be able to crit. So if he can't crit, no point of building crit rate, right? Seems simple enough. So this is how I've seen tons of Luke's built, right? So with that in mind, you would be aiming for like 50 to 60% damage reduction, which I really need to ramp mine up a little bit. And you'd be looking for a solid like 100k attack in the end, ideally. I mean, probably aim for more like 80 and you'll be fine. 80k attack is still pretty solid in the end. But with my hyper evolution and my class technology on top of that, whew, he is going to smack, right? But I have heard of another alternative build for Luke that I do want to discuss. I will do a video properly testing this. Hopefully no one does it before me, or maybe they already have and that's where this idea came from. I don't know. But I did have a user tell me about using Luke in a traditional damage build. We're talking crit damage gloves with crit rate stats everywhere and attack percentage focus as well. But Luke can't crit, right? Depends. So what you can do actually, which was suggested to me, and according to this person, which they could be completely right, I don't know. I haven't tested it yet or seen it myself. I've never seen any of my endgame people suggest it. I could have missed it. Very, very possible. I don't pay attention to Discord 24/7, so I very possibly could have missed people talking about this alternative way of building Luke. But you can also not take this talent. You could reset at any time. You don't have to take this talent that converts this to true damage only and no longer being able to crit. That would mean you'd miss out on this baby attack, who cares, baby HP, who cares, and then this one skill as well. So you would miss out on this little mini talent tree. But if you don't take that part of the talent tree and then you build Luke, you can build him like everybody else. No, I mean literally everybody else takes the same build. same build. I don't even know which one to start with. I have so many great heroes here. We have Nagrama. He's in a pretty solid build, I guess. This is what you're going to be looking at. You're looking at crit rate or crit damage gloves, attack percentage helmet, and attack percentage boots. That's what you're going to be wanting for most of these heroes. And you can possibly build Luke the same way if you don't take that part of the talent tree, right? So let's talk the rest of these heroes, and that's what we're going to talk about here. This is a pretty standard gear where if you take one set of each, it actually helps you really balance out your stats well and makes it easier to build. You don't have to, of course. Like let's say you're going crit rate here, so maybe instead of another crit rate here, you go double crit damage for the set. That could help you make up for the missing crit damage. But overall, when we're talking total stats, you really want to aim a little higher than this, I would say. We're probably talking 55, 60,000 HP at least. I would say 65,000 HP, 50 to 70% crit rate, and 250 plus crit damage. Ideally even higher for the top tier heroes, especially once you Class Technology figured in is going to add another. But you want to have some solid crit damage as well, at least 250, ideally 300 or more, though, for the top tier realm. So that just gives you something to aim for. 65, bare minimum 50, ideally more like 60, 70, and then 250, 300, ideally at least for your crit damage. So simple as that. Gearing video over. No, just not really, just kidding. We're going to talk a couple more minutes about the different heroes so I can let you guys know which ones you should be focusing on as well. I'll do like a little mini tier list of these energy heroes. So Luke is definitely worthy of the top tier, right? He brings decreased defense, he brings AoE, and he really can do good damage. I will do a video soon testing out the 2 different builds for him. I haven't done a lot of video testing or videos for build testing, but that'll be kind of fun and help me vary my content as well. So I look forward to doing that. And Ravenna is busted. Like, she is absolutely nuts. She excels in Twilight, Scythe Spider, regular Spider. Yeah, she's absolutely nuts. She hits really hard. I wouldn't say she's better than Luke. She's just a little different. But she is a monster and can really do wonders in PvE. Luke I would still use in PvP for a little bit more consistency and help with that decreased defense. Nautilus is also very strong. All of the Triple S heroes in the energy class are very strong. It's always Nautilus or Emma are one of the top tier heroes you should pick to help you push content. Before Emma, it was definitely Nautilus, before she existed, which you guys have always had her if you are a newer playing since launch person. But I remember when Emma first came out. She's pretty great. But Nautilus is very strong too. Don't forget Nautilus is very good in single target areas. And then speaking of single target damage, the energy class non-Triple S heroes that are strongest would definitely be Sorietta. Amazing hero for single target damage. And also Falvia. Falvia's kit allows her to kind of flex and be single target and multi-target depending on the situation, which makes her really versatile and a very strong hero. She should definitely be one of the heroes you put in your wish list for when you're doing advanced summons early on until you've gotten her maxed out. Now, I pulled on some banners where she was one of the heroes, so mine is super maxed already. That was a while ago. There's also been a couple very strong heroes in Nagrama and Kain. They are great. They both came from Rise of Heroes events initially. Kain was out for a Halloween event. Nagrama, I think, was after him. But yeah, both are very good and are probably better than the rest. I would say after them, you've got the mid-tier of Mafiro, Omar, and Paluno. And then the lowest tier being Karma and Ornn. But literally with Twilight Lands, it's a type of content where you want to push it, you want to do it. You get very good resources. It's also the only way to get the resources for hyper evolution. So if you're neglecting Twilight Lands, don't, because you'll never get your heroes hyper evolved once you get everybody to level 240, which You'll get there eventually. Don't worry if you're not there already. So that's something to think about as well. Just don't forget that content. And it literally makes everyone viable. Like you can use everyone. Now, luckily this game also has a free gear swapping. So with the free gear swapping in mind, you can actually move things around no problem for free. But I am personally not someone who wants to deal with swapping gear before every single battle. So I don't do that. I don't do that. But some people choose to, for sure. I had to sneeze. Anyway, all right. I think that wraps up how to gear energy heroes pretty well. Super simple damage dealers. Crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage. You're looking for all of that. And when you're also looking at your substats, keep in mind damage reduction in HP for general survivability. But thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.
Eternal Evolution. Play now for free.